Welcome back to the show, Business Mastery for Startups, Scaleups, and Early Stage Businesses with your host, Jerry Gadori. That's me. And in this week's show, we have Khadija Khartit, an educator, Fulbright scholar, and founder of an exciting new startup, which we're going to learn more about. That was too brief of an introduction for somebody with as interesting a background as you have. Could you expand on that for a little bit for us, Khadija?
Thank you, Jerry. I love the background sound.
Yes, that's my parrot
Yeah, we're
Mercury
gonna
adding
enjoy
his
it
two
all the
cents.
way, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a bird, so we have to explain that. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Jerry. My name is Khadija, as you said. I have a long career, also a lot of degrees, so long also journey in education for the people who like to learn. Or there is also always that topic about is school worth it now? We may touch on that as well. But I did two masters. I did CFA, which is also long self-education. And then I worked in multinational companies in big roles, senior executive, managerial. I also switched to investment banking, so the finance side of the business world. I ended up being the CEO of an investment bank in Saudi Arabia as the first woman. And then I switched to advisory of tech startups and then education in Ivy League schools. And all that has one thread, which is the love of learning, the love of updating yourself, get excited about what's new, and be humble about what life gives you, and also fit in work inside life. So I look forward to explaining all these concepts that were tested by my life and also by people around me that I learned from, and also younger people that I mentored and hopefully I inspired along the way.
That's exciting. I'm glad that you expanded on my overly brief introduction. There's a lot there, but the one thing that really resonated with me was education and self-education. I've always talked to the folks that I work with and explain that success today is a commitment to ongoing learning, to continued education. Education doesn't stop when you graduate from college. Heck, that's just the beginning. When you graduate with a 4-year degree, that proves that you now know how to learn. It's your job to go and do it. So I love that you incorporate that in your philosophy as well.
I would like also to make it more exciting for the youth of your audience and everybody. Education has changed its meaning and its component, and it just transformed, which is for the better. The better. Let's look at it the positive way. Now it's learning. It can come either any way. You don't have to spend the night studying books to be educated. You can be watching a video like ours. You can be watching a movie and learning. You could be listening to somebody talking on the street and learning. You could be getting tips about tools and learning. So learning now is a very flexible, very real time, and agnostic to tools. It can come in text, in audio, in video, in life. Doing it, hearing it, listening it, tasting it, smelling it, really all that is learning. Really, that is the message that I want to pass to the youth. And what's important is the content of that. Is it useful to you? Also, I want to touch something about, so let's talk about self-education. So one thing that we want to pass is that be always upbeat and optimistic and looking forward to something new every day, and take it with humility, or like exciting. I learned that because you never know where you're going to use it. But when you are aware that you are absorbing it, it becomes beneficial. And also your attitude towards learning is positive. It gives you that receptivity. So I want to pass as an attitude towards learning. And when I say learning, it means like the generic definition of education that comes in all forms and any time of life, in any stage of life, for any gender, for any. It's just so amazing to think about that. And the most accomplished people in life adopt this attitude about
Agreed.
learning and humility to receive and to give, receive and give. This is ongoing. The person who adopts that, embraces that, lives a good life, actually, because it's not about the outcome, it's about the journey. It's about
Yes.
that having fun doing it, and your one thing that a good term, plasticity of the brain.
Yes.
Plasticity that defies ageism. There's nothing, no such thing. I mean, as long as we are learning, we are producing every day, and we are taking the new challenge. It's not about like age. AI could be for the 70s, 80s. And if you look, people say youth and AI, but if you look, the leaders of AI, they're not young. They are 50 and above. Look at them. I mean, we can cite names, we can, but in any case, all ages are welcome for this journey of growth, education, learning, and contributing to the world, really. It's so exciting. I always get excited talking about this.
Yeah, there's a couple important things to unpack there. One that you hit on that I think is critical and doesn't get enough attention is that learning, there are many vehicles for that, many platforms, many ways to do that. I love to read. I've always been a big reader. I'm a lifelong reader. I'm usually reading 2 or 3 books at any given time. And that's me, and that's not everybody. But that same piece of information now can be gotten on paper. It can be gotten on a digital screen. It can be gotten in audio format through an Audible account. There's so many ways to learn. Videos on YouTube. I have a friend who jokingly calls YouTube University because he learns so many of the things that he needs there. There's podcasts like this that are educational in nature. There's services like the Great Courses that allow you to take college courses from educators at schools that most of us probably can't afford to go to on a monthly subscription basis. There's
Even
apps.
free, Jerry.
Yeah, I
Even
was
free.
going there. I was going
MOOC.
there.
Yeah, MOOC. It's even free. You just need to learn where to find and what do you need. That takes me to the project. You need to have a project because now there is abundance, but people are overwhelmed. And also abundance of good and bad content, and people do not know how to distill. And what is scarce now is time, and also your brain power to assimilate all that. And what's worth the time, investment of time is precious right now. Will you use it for product A or product B, which is either the audio or video? Or and also I want to touch like at
Opportunity
Sahara,
cost.
our startup, we write the ideas in article format or white papers, then we convert them into audios and podcasts, and then we convert them into videos with visuals, because people's learning styles are different, and we give the same exact content in different delivery forms so that anybody can use that. The important is that the takeaways, it's not about where did you get it. Even you don't remember, if did I read this, did I watch it, I don't remember, but at least you got it. Once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. That's the amazing part about learning.
Agree. And you mentioned projects, so that brings up a good point. Everything you learn, there's an opportunity cost attached. If you're spending time to learn this, you might not have time to learn that. So having a North Star, a direction that you're moving in, helps you to focus your learning in a way that will benefit and serve you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Jerry, for this. I was looking forward to speak with you about the project-based life. Okay. And when we say the way we look at my platform is about looking at work as a subset of life and starting from there and work backward from Z to A. Look at your life. Of course, young people do not have like that clear view about what they like, what their type, but they have to start thinking about it so that picture keeps like adding pixels until it's full. But for us, like in the 40s, 50s, if you worked early
Come
on
on,
to
I'm
discover that.
17 years old. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not talking about you, but me and others, you know. But yeah, for you, Jerry, I'm giving you the advice to just start working on it. Okay, are we good on that? Yeah. But
Yes.
so when you have that project to think, think, so that you can understand your needs, wants, your strength, your weaknesses, and what excites you, what makes you vibrate and say, wow, this is good, I'm good at this is great if I can solve it, talking about problem solving. And also the why, what's the reason. Do you like to help people? Do you like to create cool products? Do you like technology? Do you like to teach? Do you like to make? Do you like to draw? Do you like to sing? Human beings have so many ways of giving to life, and once they understand that, then it's just a matter of how to get there, you know? And now they can get there many ways, the abundance. It's just they need to distill and curate that abundance so that the path is smoother with less loss, less search, less wasted time, like in searching and re-navigating and rerouting. You know, if you do that, then maybe you go faster and you go higher because of that guidance. So my platform really is about guidance, because we notice that there is abundance but there is no guidance. So we come in there to curate and to guide so that the path is shorter and faster. So when I want to go back and talk about project, why project in life? Because the journey is long and the journey is trying, and the journey requires a lot of hours of investment to excel. And if you have that project that guides you and motivates you and inspire you, then you can last. Your breath, your energy level, your battery is charged and can be recharged continuously because you're excited about that project. It's worth your time. So yeah, for the youth, I just want them to do that, because their story will be beautiful if they're doing that. They're not going to be like, oh, another day at work, another day in school, you know? Yeah.
If I could pause you for a second, that's a lot to unpack. What I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I've made a mistake, what I'm hearing you say is you're recommending to people to take a look at the totality of your life and what you're attempting to accomplish in your journey, so that you can fit your work, whatever shape that might take, into that, so that it's going in the same direction. Is that an accurate way to sum up what you've said?
Yes, mentally, the congruence is a great place to be between your values, what excites you, and you think it's important to be done, and you are good at it, and you are doing it. That's at young age. As we go in life, we discover things, you know, and we discover our strength also and our abilities, and we also fill the gaps in our weaknesses. And then we start also to have limits in our physical abilities. So if when you feel that tiredness and like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, how do I do that? How do I reroute, you know? And also having kids, having, you know, relationships, personal, and you start to have that challenges of how to fit work, how to fit travel, how to fit requirements of work inside life. At that moment, what I would require is like rethinking, rerouting, renavigating. When we build that flexibility, you have so much abilities and skills you can redefine. That's why I'm very big on skills, because people that are skilled, they have choices. They can recalculate. Let me say it in concrete ways. Like if they're corporate and they're tired of corporate work, they can become solopreneurs. If they don't want, if they have like higher target, they can become startup founders like I am doing. They will evaluate where they are, what toolbox they have, and then what they want to do, and they can redefine their work inside their life with the lifestyle. That's very important. I mean, I'm talking now to women with little kids. I'm talking to people with older parents who have health conditions and they want to take care of them, because life is bigger than work. And when we are smart, we can make work serve us, not us serving the work. So I'm all about the quality of life of people. But work, we need to be smart to fit it in. And that
Yes.
is extra work, and we can do it. I know we can do it if we think about it as a culture.
Now, Khadija, one comment and one question on what you just said. Comment first. Much of what you're saying reminds me of something that Dr. Stephen Covey used to say. And he talked about the importance of having a map for your life. And the example that he used that I always loved was that if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter how fast you're moving, because you don't know. You know, so you could be moving 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. So that's my comment. It aligns. I'm a big Dr. Covey fan, so it aligns perfectly with that. The question I have is this: while I completely agree that ideally this is a message we're sending to the youth, the reality is many folks will find it that are no longer youths. So if you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s and you're just becoming aware of your philosophy on this, how does an older person adapt this to their lives?
First, they have to commit to it, like believe, yes, this is like winning formula. And then there are three components of it, the way we look at it at Suhara. There is the skills component of it, and we call it upskilling. And you touched on it, like people in advanced ages who, who are in transition or re-navigation, changing jobs, changing even like the type of like solopreneur, small business owner, startup or intrapreneur. There's a lot of, now work is changing in a big way.
Yes.
Okay. And it's an opportunity for a lot who understand that, but it's also risk for people who did not understand it. Because with AI, and we have to talk about that, AI is displacing jobs, changing the shapes of them. And this is a great time to talk about that and get ready for it, because it's underway. Even the leaders in AI, they don't know how fast it's going to go. Okay. And now if we tell people, let me go back so that I don't lose it: skills, tools, and networking. Skills, you need to upskill for the project you have. What do you want to be? Don't waste time on useless skills that will not go into your project. You can do them as a hobby, but I'm talking about your project.
I
Okay,
understand.
so let's focus on that. Tools is like now with AI and with all these platforms, and we just talked about it before the show, is so many tools, so many tools that you get overwhelmed. You don't know which one to use. You become even having headache because you have so many open, and you have to now have the authority, have the agency to say, I don't know, you use that tool, please contact me on this one. You define how you're going to spend your day in a way that's productive with the tools that you need. Like now for video, it's new for me, and I want to create video with my team. The way I do it is that I'm good at writing, I'll write. I go to 11 Labs, I get the audio, and then I go to Canva and I put together the images. Maybe it sounds simplistic, but it works for me because it's really about my message. It's not about the beauty of my videos. But my younger team members, they know sound effects, they know the things, so they do their beautiful videos, and each one of us like serve a purpose. So the really the message, and that's my own learning and passing it here. And also networking. Do you want to network with everybody on LinkedIn? No. You want to narrow down and speak only to the people that will serve your project. Yes, richness is in humanity connecting, but do you have time for all that? And also, will you remember? If you talk to 10 or 20 or 30 a day, will you remember that person who will serve you? And help you in whatever you want to accomplish. Also, you have to be open to help others, and it has to be a human connection in a meaningful way. So for me now, if I want to wrap it up, is like abundance is not serving people because the way it is managed.
Great. And you said it in different ways throughout all three of the buckets that you described. And that's to remember opportunity costs. Learning a new tool takes time. Networking with folks takes time. Picking a skill to focus on takes time. And having a project view of your life that's moving in a direction gives you guidance on where best to spend that time. What tool will serve your purpose? What skill will serve your purpose? What group you want to cultivate a network with to serve your purpose? So I see how it all ties together. But real quick, this audience is typically comprised of startups, founders, and early stage CEOs. If you could give those folks any one piece of advice, what do you think that it would be?
For entrepreneurs, I would have a few of them, but I'm struggling actually to find the most important one, depending on because we're not that free. Entrepreneurship is guided by funding and by success, return on investment and all that. So I try to keep that in mind while I'm talking about mission and impact, because if you just talk about impact and mission, you lose a lot of people. Because they will say, okay, it's not going to take me where, I'm not going to be funded. My startup will not last and all that. But I want to go back again to the entrepreneur because I care about the entrepreneur more than the startup. For the entrepreneur, because I care about him or her, I would say, please choose something you will never get tired of. Because if you work 20 hours a day and you have to do it 6 days a week, and it keeps going, because you're still shaping it and it's not shaping, and you stay 2 years doing it, at least you feel like it's worth it. It's worth it. Don't go back and say, oh, I wasted so much time, and you don't believe in the product or the solution that that startup is doing. So at least that, even if it doesn't work, you feel like you have ventured and strived for something you care about. That is first. Also, your chances of success are higher when you care about it. Also, when you believe that it's a solution for a problem, it gives you that energy with the skills, with the tools, with the networking, because it's worth it. So it's worth your time. And your time is years. We're talking years, not months, not hours.
Of course.
It will also opportunity cost. It will cost you time that you would have spent with your loved ones doing other things, or making money with corporations, because you have skills. You come to startups with or entrepreneurship with a lot of things that could be monetizable somewhere else, and you're giving up that and you're coming to this. So that is the first one. You care about that thing that you are trying to build in that startup first. Second, I want to talk about social capital because it served me. I want to talk about it. Social capital is how you navigated your life in the beginning, and you're growing in school, in work, and you have done a lot of things for people, and they watched you doing those things, and they knew who you are through doing those things. Those people, you can go and tap into them. They could be your angel investors, they could be your champions, they could be your employees, they could be your advisors, they could be helping you. You come back and say, I started this startup, and I did that, me, I like that. And you find those people are willing to give you the first help that you're going to need, because in the beginning, not a lot of, unless you have a genius idea that a lot of people will see the value of very quickly, then you're lucky. But if it's not, and it's just another idea, maybe it's great, but people haven't seen it yet, it's deep somewhere, or it's a copy paste. I'm saying all ideas are worthwhile if you execute them well. That takes me to entrepreneurship. It's not only about the idea, but some people are lucky and found these unique ideas that people like sensed the value of it and helped. But all the rest of us, they struggle and go many, many years. And those people that believe in you are the first people that will be your tribe before you go to the next tribe and you have something to show. And I'm talking about this from experience.
I understand building up a supportive group around you is critical for success. As the show winds down, as we wrap up, what ideas would you like to share in closing with the audience?
Sorry, can you say it again, Jerry?
No, so we're running out of time. Any ideas that you'd like to share with the audience and kind of in closing?
Yes. Maybe I want to say about AI, because I feel that people are overwhelmed and they feel that they're losing agency. They're scared to lose their jobs. I want them to feel in control, because that feeling in control will make them come up with ideas and be original, because originality is what we keep as humans. Really, the machines are getting better every day, and I want to talk about artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, artificial super intelligence, which will be competing in a big way with our intellect. But our originality and our imagination is something that the machines can't keep up with us. And when we have that, we can command what the machines can do for us. And at that moment, the project comes in. So really, the tools will become better. But that project that I talked about in the beginning is going to guide the work of those machines for you and for your ability to make income and to sustain being employable or being an entrepreneur that have some products and services that the market wants. So it's really keep that in mind, that if you think deep, you critical think, and that originality will not go. And that is your sustainability strategy.
I couldn't agree more. This is the third big change to society that I've lived through due to technological advance. I was around before the internet, and that radically changed the way business is done. I was around before the mobile communication change. That radically changed the way business was done. It was really the advent of cloud computing. And now AI looks to make those first two changes as nothing. So I couldn't agree more. Understanding how it works, how it impacts what you do in your life project is huge. Khadija, where can people learn more about you and connect with you, if they want to learn more about your ideas and about Sahara?
So the essence of my thinking goes to the platform. That's what
Yep.
I do every day. Now, all what I'm talking about is what I write and what we make as products and solutions. Our platform is an ecosystem for work. And work is defined as careers, which is professional track, and entrepreneurial track. And that track can be divided into four: startup founding, solopreneurship, small business ownership, and intrapreneurship inside corporations. So we pour all our intellect into that, and we make products, resources, tools, knowledge, connections to investors, connections to clients, all inside that platform. The platform, you can find it in Sohara, and it's spelled SOHAARA.com. That's on web app. Also, you can download the app Sohara, SOHAARA, or they can find me also on LinkedIn through my name, and they can find me on email, Khadija@sohara.com. So we can write that in the comment, but spelling of my name is on the screen right now, and it's at sohara.com.
Yes, and longtime listeners will know all of the contact information that Khadija just shared will be in the show notes. So no need to crash your cars trying to write it down if you're driving. So it was wonderful having you on the show. Thanks very much for coming on and sharing your ideas. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
I want to thank your bird for being quiet all this session.
Yes,
He
he
behaved.
always has.
I love him. He loved me back. So he gave me my time. You saw
Yes,
that? So it's
yes.
empathy. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jerry. It's been an honor to be with you, ex-Marines. And we talked about your journey also. So I'm inspired by your life journey as well. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much. No, it's wonderful having you on. And always, folks, between this week's show and next week's show, continue building awesome things and living incredible lives.